Congressman Jordan, I got to ask you what you think the Democrats' play is going to be going forward here when it comes to COVID restrictions and just more generally. I haven't even heard what the narrative is supposed to be yet. I don't even really pick up. They trot out a little bit of January 6th and insurrection stuff here and there, and that's not going to cut it with inflation at 8.5%, with a wide open southern border, with crime, violent crime rising rapidly in cities. I think it's important that we know what their pitch is going to be or how they're going to try to play this. Do you have any sense of it? Because they obviously want to maintain control in the House. Hopefully they're going to get annihilated.
Yeah, no, hopefully they are. But I think you're right, Buck. It'll be January 6th. I think it starts next week. So for the first time since Joe Biden's been in office, Secretary Mayorkas is coming in front of the Judiciary Committee. He had the Democrats, Jerry Nadler, kept him away, but he's finally coming next week for a hearing. So I think they're going to come in and they're going to talk about January 6th, and they're going to talk about, the real threat is white supremacy and all these things are going to. So I think that's going to be their play. But I totally agree with you, Buck, that the country gets it. They know what's happened on the border, from, secure border to chaos. They know what's happened with inflation, from stable prices to a 41-year high inflation rate. They know what's happened with gas prices. They see what has happened with energy, and they see the whole thing. And then, of course, there's foreign policy, and there's the fact that they've attacked our liberties and used COVID to come after our rights over the last year as well. So I think the country sees all through it. But my guess is they'll stick to what they've been talking about, which is January 6th.
So here's the question I also have, Congressman. Now that you see the numbers being as disastrous as they are for the Biden administration, we're a little bit over 6 months from the midterms. I think you guys are going to thankfully be back in the majority in the House. Hopefully the Senate, which is a little bit more of a question mark just based on the seats that are up, but hopefully the Senate as well. So are you concerned at all in Congress now that the Biden administration may see the same tea leaves, may recognize that no matter what they do, they're unlikely to have a congressional majority? So they try to just ram through as much crazy government spending, tax increases as they can, knowing that as soon as it gets to be midterm day, Biden's not going to have those votes in 2023 or 2024. And so they say, screw it. Let's try to get through some of our favored laws, because we're never going to get them otherwise.
Yeah, no, because that's Democrats. I mean, they go back a decade. They pushed through Obamacare, knowing it was unpopular at the time. They pushed it through and lost the majority. That's how Democrats function. In some ways, you got to admire their tenacity for their crazy left-wing beliefs, that they actually go for it, even knowing that it can cost them a lot of seats. I think sometimes Republicans need to be a little more focused on doing what we told the voters we were going to do. So, yeah, I think they'll do that. But remember, too, Biden's the one who told us that, if I spend $2 trillion more, it's going to help us.
Oh, yeah.
So they also say stupid things. And the country, this is what the left misses. The left always thinks the country, you and I know that your audience and the American people have common sense. They're smart. There's a reason that only 30-some% of the country thinks that we're on the right track, because, Joe, we are on the wrong track. The country gets it. So they can try other things. I think there's going to be pushback, and you're beginning to see it. What is it now? 9 Democrat senators have said, wait a minute, time out on getting rid of Title 42. We see how bad the border situation is. We know it's going to get that much worse if you do this. So when you got 9 senators, some of them from border states, saying that, I think there's that pushback too. So let's hope the bad stuff is done. We can hold our own and win back the majority in the House. And as you say, hopefully win the Senate as well.